All right. All praises to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shah, by Hashem, Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles, the elders, and honors to Akim pushing his truth out and sincerity. All right. So, you know, so-called white man, he doesn't keep his agreements, right? You got NATO, Edomite countries, the United, and you got America, which is involved with NATO, and the opposing force is Russia, and they violating agreements with Russia. They had an agreement with Reagan. It was Reagan, Bush, and Mikhail Gorbachev, which is Russia. They had an agreement that no NATO countries would be around their borders. And this was around 88 to 90 that agreement took place around those years. And NATO is violating that agreement. And they also had a
You say the name of the agreement?
Nah, that's not the agreement, but it's another agreement that they had the Warsaw Pact. The Warsaw Pact is I'm gonna get that right now. The Warsaw Pact, it states the Warsaw Pact or Treaty of Warsaw, formerly the Treaty of Friendship, Cooperation, and Mutual Assistance, was a collective defense treaty signed in Warsaw, Poland, between the Soviet Union and other European and 7 other Eastern Bloc socialist republics of Central and Eastern Europe in May 1955 during the Cold War. All right, and also you had America and Canada that was involved in that. All right, so we're gonna I guess get some scriptures.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about how this all links into prophecy, because we're right now things are heating up pretty heavy, but we know before, because there's rumors of thermonuclear threats being made, on a world base, on a world scale, between Russia and America right now. Okay, that's pretty much what's going down, and these it's not going to be a nuclear fallout until the prophecies of the MOTB come.
Okay.
So yeah, but nonetheless, we're seeing through the Spirit that surely, that this the judgment of the Lord is going to come by way of fire, like the scriptures say, right? So this is Ezekiel 35, verse 5. Well, I'll start at 4. I will lay, because this is dealing with who? The Edomites, right? It says, I will lay thy cities waste, and thou shalt be desolate. And thou shalt know, and thou shalt know that I am Yahweh by Shema Shai, man. Because the so-called white man has been given the rulership. He's the wicked that the Bible speaks of. But the Lord said he's going to what? Because when you read verses 1 all the way down to 3, it's talking about Mount Seir. What people was given the landmass of Mount Seir? The Edomites. So in prophecy, the so-called white man would have cities. He would have rulership. Hence, we got here, what you got here in America, what you got over there in London, Britain, France, right? All throughout the major continents. You got cities that are set up by the rulership of the so-called white man, right? So how did he get it? All right? Robbery, murder, rape, all right? Lies, all right? Treachery, because prior to the so-called white man coming into rulership, who had control over Europe? Jake, so-called blacks, Latinos, Native Americans. Who was over here in this landmass? All right, dealing with North, beginning with Canada and North America, Central and South America, the tribes of Israel. But the so-called white man, according to prophecy, he took over. Right. So the Lord said, I will lay thy cities waste, and thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am the Lord. Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, and the time that their iniquity had in it.
Perpetual, ongoing.
Yeah, it is,
ongoing. Perpetual. Oh, you want me to go into that?
Yeah, definitely. Go.
Oh, you can read that part again?
Come. Verse 5. Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred.
Because thou, the so-called white man, has Esau had a perpetual ongoing hatred with the lost people. Who's the lost people? The so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. And you have a problem with the Most High and His Son, who is Yahweh and Yahushua.
That's right. And it tells us, how the so-called white man built his cities. It says what? Has shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity.
Time of their calamity.
Because Israel would be, not would be, but Israel, according to Amos 9, is that sinful kingdom that the Lord had to bring judgment upon, because they would what? They would kill the prophets.
Yeah.
They always had a problem with the Most High's prophets. They always had a problem with what the Most High was rebuking them on. So Israel had to be judged. They were going into idolatry and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
But what happened, it all happened according to Deuteronomy 28 chapter, of what would happen unto our people for being disobedient. However, that does not make the so-called white man justified in what he did. All right, because he judged, or the Most High used Esau to be a whipping stick and a tool of judgment to Israel. This so-called white man did it in wickedness. He didn't abide by the laws. He pretty much took it to the maximum degree, because you're supposed to follow the laws, statutes, and commandments when it comes to having slaves and putting people in subjection. So-called white man didn't do that. All right. So what did he do? Now he has a system set up where you're oppressed in it.
Yeah.
And you have to go and you have to pretty much, be under his wicked rule, his wicked oppressive rule, man.
Yeah.
And he did it first and foremost by just totally slaughtering our people, man. Mm-hmm. What is it, man? There's so much history on this, bro.
Can I say one thing?
Yeah, you got it up.
Yeah. So just to combat what these people say. Oh, it's been, y'all keep talking about the past. Y'all didn't have this time to get yourself together. Listen. Once you conquered everything, you set up a game that everyone has to operate under. We keep saying that we're repetitive. UCC.
Exactly.
We got to operate under your systems that you put in order. Your UCC, your democracy, your capitalism. You make the rules on the board, and we got to follow those rules. We can't operate outside of that board. So it's your game, and we got to play.
That's right.
And if you made the game, who would benefit the most? Your people. And whoever's in league with you.
Exactly.
You got it out.
That's right, brother. And has shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end.
In the time that iniquity had an end. So afterwards, what do you do with a slave? You let them off, and you set them where they can establish themselves.
That's right.
All right? Where they can function. Exactly. But they didn't do that.
What was So like your brother, some of those broken promises or covenants, which of course began with the tribes of Gad, all right, Reuben, Issachar over here in North America, all right. He had a what you call it, not a crusade, but you could say somewhat of a crusade that they call the Indian Removal Act.
See,
okay, of 1830, the Indian Removal Act. What was that? Pretty much going on a tirade of making agreements with you so-called Native Americans in this landmass and breaking every last one of them, and speaking with a goddamn forked tongue, because Gad would say that they speak with forked tongue, meaning you are the devil, all right, and you thus came Wounded Knee, right, the Trail of Tears. We got to constantly speak on these atrocities, all right, that happened. The transatlantic slave trade, the sub-Saharan slave trade.
I got you.
Come on, brother. See, this is how the so-called white man has shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, and the time that their iniquity had an end. Meaning what? All right? This is the times that we're in right now. Our iniquity has an end. All right? Because Yahweh Bashim Yahshua is having mercy, all right, on the elect. All right? Go ahead.
Zechariah 11:5. Whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty. And they that sell them say, bless. And they that sell them say, blessed be the Lord, for I am rich, and their own shepherds pity them not. Yeah, whose possessors slay them. so-called white man.
That's right.
During the slave trade, all the way up to now, with all the segregation thing that was going on, how Jake was being lynched due to slavery, how he's being broken, how we been broken down to nothing, right? And then you have Edomites saying, "Oh, you sold yourselves into slavery." More lies. No, Hamites
That's right.
helped. There's a difference
That's
between
right.
there's a difference between Israelites and Hamites,
That's right.
which is in Exodus.
That's right.
But they don't go into that. So there's even more lies. You get
Right.
what I'm saying?
And even
so,
the scholars say it, brother. Even the scholars say it in the Bible dictionary.
uh-huh.
You know, Ham, all right, the progenitor of the dark races,
Uh-huh.
not the Negroes, but the Egyptians, the Ethiopians, the Libyans, the Canaanites, right?
Yep.
That's who, man. That's who the brother's talking about. So-called Africans. Even when you say the term African, it goes back to a so-called goddamn white man, right? So that term African goes back to an Edomite, Leo Scipio Africanus. So if you're a real African, you're a descendant of a goddamn Edomite. If you really want to get, into it.
Every time when it goes to the nation of Israel with all the tribes, northern and southern kingdom, Esau is always saying that was the past.
Yep.
When it applies to us, but when it applies to him, he'll get somebody off back taxes, or either they follow the law and the law be retroactive, and they're going to pass.
Yep.
But hold up, that was the past.
Right. That's right.
You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Whose possessors slay them, and they hold themselves not guilty. Oh, it wasn't me. It wasn't me.
Yeah, it was my forefathers.
But you benefited off of it.
Exactly.
This place is benefit. Hey, on a small note, then none of the tribes, northern or southern kingdom, should ever have to pay property tax or any of that. Then
Right,
you get what I'm saying?
That's right, because they were here first. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah.
Shows you, man. This Edomite is the wicked. Go ahead.
Yeah. Whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty. And they that sell them say, "Blessed be the Lord, for I am rich." Yeah, they have everything. God bless America.
Mm-hmm.
And this that they have everything. All right? For I am rich, and their own shepherds pity them not. Yeah. Our own leaders that know their Israel preach false doctrine. And then those false pastors and these celebrity jakes too, and these well-off jakes, they pity them not. All right?
That's right. It says, back in Ezekiel 35, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword.
Yeah, you did that. You did that during the slave trade, going all the way back to the Flavian dynasty. Then, with the last of the 12 main Roman emperors, Vespasian, Titus, Domitian, the Flavian dynasty.
That's right.
To now.
Yep. By the force of the sword, in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end.
Time our iniquity had an end. So you went haywire with this. You wouldn't stop. So-called white man wouldn't stop. You had these prison systems for our people.
That's right.
Trumped up charges.
That's right.
You created. I'm not giving an excuse for Jakes committing crime, but you orchestrated a lot of this shit.
Absolutely.
Well, you make a Jake fucked up, and you make situations real fucked up where the weak of our people go commit crimes and then get caught up.
For example, you charge Jake with a felony.
Mm-hmm.
He goes and does the time. Then he gets out after the time he's done, which could be decade, 20 years, 25 years. Now he's psychologically institutionalized.
Mm-hmm.
So when he gets out back in the world, all he knows is the jail life. And this, we all know the wickedness that happens in jail, in prison, especially maximum security prison. And then he tries to go and apply for a job, and guess what? You ain't getting no goddamn job, nigga.
Yep. And then if
you know why? Because you a felon with 25 years under your belt, and we can't trust you in this establishment to work as a normal citizen. So what does he do? Commit, like the brother's saying, he commits crime and goes, man, hell with this. I'm gonna go and
Yeah.
go back to jail. I'm gonna go back to prison. You see?
Yeah.
Man, just to be, vivid. Make it really plain and
Yeah.
simple. But who set up that system?
Yeah.
Who set up the system of saying, because the elder Neely Fuller Jr., he went into that very, very, very vividly, very distinctively, man. Saying, look, I ain't gonna give you no job because I'm not giving you an opportunity to get no job because you've been. He didn't say in these words, but based on what we're saying,
Yeah.
you've been institutionalized and you're pretty much you're nothing. You're bottom of the barrel.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's the type of mentality that these Edomites got for our people, man. They create this system just to keep to stomp Jake down more and more, man. All right. Verse 6. Therefore, as I live, saith Yahweh Shem Shai, I will prepare thee unto blood.
That's right. You're gonna be prepared unto blood, the so-called white man. The Lord gonna have it where you destroying yourselves also. All right.
And that's
Your
happening.
house divided. All right. NATO,
That's right, bro.
Russia, EU, and then NATO gonna break apart, and all these countries are gonna turn on America. So you're gonna be prepared to blood, because the so-called white man, he was just bloodthirsty, man.
Yeah, brother.
So you're gonna be prepared to blood.
And blood shall pursue thee.
Yeah, blood and death, destruction is gonna
Right.
pursue you.
Because whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap.
That's right.
It says
You didn't gain the world through. You didn't gain the world through yeah,
righteous
you
means.
you studying real hard,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
you working real hard. Nah, you didn't get it through that. You got it by conquering and by
Violence.
shady money dealers with
That's
your
right.
banking system. You fucking elite.
That's right, bro. See, and that's all blood. That's all
Yeah.
blood, because that's the result.
Mhm.
The whole system is set up just to create death.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, bro. So I'm gonna read on. It says, and I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Since thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee.
Yeah, you didn't hate destroying people, mass death. Man, all your drugs, your pharmaceuticals, your coke, your narcotics, your heroin. All right. What else? Your diseases you create, AIDS virus and so on.
That's right. It says, thus will I make Mount Seir most desolate.
Mount Seir most desolate. Esau most desolate. America most desolate.
And cut off from it him that passeth out and him that returneth.
And cut off. Your rulership, you're going to be cut off, and also your nation going to be cut off. You're going to be exterminated after you serve your sentence of slavery.
And I will fill his mountains with his slain men.
You're going to fill your mountains, your government,
That's right.
your landmaster, your slain men.
Hey, let's run down the governments. American government,
Uh-huh.
the British government,
Uh-huh.
the French government, the
Uh-huh.
Spanish government, right? The Australian government,
Mhm.
right? The German government, okay? The Spanish government, if I ain't say that yet, all of these are ran by Edomites. Those are the mountains. Those are the 7 heads, all right, of the dragon of pursuing the revelation. All right, and then you got the EU, which is the 10 Commonwealth states that was revived. Like Luxembourg, Denmark,
Okay.
Portugal, Spain, okay, the Netherlands, okay. Those are the EU nations, man. So those are the hills, in thy hills, right? It says, and in thy valleys and in all thy rivers, they shall fall that are slain with the sword. And what's the main ultimate sword?
Thermonuclear, thermonuclear destruction.
That's right. Lord said,
We
my
say
sword.
it's gonna be devastating. We say it was
Exactly.
yo. I don't mean to say yo, but That thing is gonna melt the element. It's gonna burn up air, even the air. You get what I'm saying? Even the air is gonna get roasted.
Hey, it's gonna get purified.
Yeah.
Because the atmosphere is defiled under this goddamn so-called white man's rule, man. Right? Chemtrails, fucking billions of tons of garbage in the damn waters.
And I was watching. I'm not gonna go into it, but I'm gonna just go to the title. I was looking at what is called Wion, the site on YouTube, WION.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
All right, and it says
the East Indian woman, right?
Okay, yep. And it says it was Gravitas plus Ukraine war, rising fear of a nuclear escalation.
That's right.
And they said on there, I just looked at a few words. It was like Russia has the world's largest nuclear arsenal.
That's right.
The world's largest nuclear arsenal.
If I'm not mistaken, Oliver Stone brought that out in a documentary that they used to have on Netflix called what is it called? The Untold Story of America.
Okay.
Yeah, brought out that type of information. You know, because Russia, according to the records, is three times the size of America. Pretty much 3 land masses of America could fit in Russia.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was that huge.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's the type of information they brought out.
So that world, brother's been saying that world map we look at is false.
The Gil Peters,
the world might be larger than what's being shown.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of deception, man. That this fucking devil, man. You know, go ahead, bro.
Okay, it makes sense. That's it.
I got Obadiah.
Okay.
Because we talking about the whole skirmish. Yeah, exactly right. The skirmishes that's going on between Russia and America, and these other Edomites around the world. This is Obadiah 6 and 7. How are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought out?
Yeah, how's the hidden things sought out? The Lord bless his men, Lord willing, we the elect with the knowledge of the scriptures to know Esau's plans.
All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border.
Confederacy, you're joined. A confederate, that means you're joined together under one agreement. So it says all the men of thy confederacy.
All the men of thy confederacy.
I've drawn thee to the border.
It says,
I've drawn
all the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. Yeah,
have brought thee. So basically, they're going to all turn on you. All the men that's together with you, NATO, the EU, your other allies that you done paid off, they're going to turn on America.
That's right. Something like the Warsaw Pact.
Sounds like Warsaw Pact, yeah.
You know, because that was a what? That was a pact between Russia.
I did it again.
Yeah.
All right, brother.
Yeah, because this is one nation we're dealing with. We're dealing with the nation of Edom. All right. The Russians are no more Edomites than those over here in America or those over there in London. They're all Edomites. You understand? So the men of the Confederacy is the ones that are of their nation that's joined in power with them. So that's the Confederacy. Brother said it. The NATO, the EU. That's the Confederacy of Esau.
I got it.
Go ahead.
The Warsaw Pact. What is the Warsaw Pact and why was it formed? The Soviet Union formed this alliance as a counterbalance to the North Atlantic Treaty Organization.
So it was an alliance.
Yeah.
Right? It's an alliance with what?
All right. As an alliance.
Does it say with who in particular?
It's going to go into it.
So you know what? Go ahead.
We'll go into it. A collective security alliance concluded between the United States, Canada, and Western European nations in 1949.
United States, Canada,
the Western Union,
and Western Europe.
I said Western Union.
United States. Europe. You got up. United States, Canada, and Western Europe. That's part of the Confederacy of the so-called white man. All right, this is with Russia back in 1949, correct?
Correct.
Go ahead.
All right, that's it.
Hey, once again, All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border.
Yeah.
And what's going on, man? Wars and rumors of wars, bro. Right? We're seeing things heating up. Hey, Biden just said it, as a matter of fact. Biden said we have not been under this threat since Kennedy and the Cuban Missile Crisis. That's the state of affairs. What is the state of affairs? Ecclesiastes 3. War. Time of war. That's how they're being brought to the border, right? Because their militaries are ready for war. It says the men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee. Ooh, that's heavy right there. That's heavy right there. Yeah. Go ahead.
Was at peace with thee, have deceived thee. They've been buying time, and they just waiting for the exact moment to turn on you. What did it say? Remember you said, Goodfellas. What did they say? What did Henry say? Your enemies, they come to you as your friend.
Right.
He was saying with the mob life, but hey, who do you think taught the mob?
Right.
Scumlakites.
Exactly.
The scumlakites run the world.
See? The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee. Let's run them down according to, the 1949 agreement called the Warsaw Pact between Russia, Canada, America, and Western Europe.
I think it's Eastern. Let me make sure.
Yeah.
All right. The Warsaw Pact. Let me get from where I was looking at it. All right. Yeah, the Warsaw Pact was a collective defense treaty established by the Soviet Union and 7 other
A collective defense treaty.
I got it.
Go ahead.
I'll get it again. The Soviet Union formed this alliance as a counterbalance.
Who's the Soviet Union? Russia. And that's including Ukraine. So it's no surprise that this conflict between Russia and Ukraine is happening, because according to prophecy, the Lord said he's going to put Gog and Magog, he's going to put hooks in Gog and Magog's jaws. You see? So it's all coming together. Go ahead.
Yeah. Let me read this again.
Come on.
See. Make sure.
Because the scripture said, all the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee.
Huh.
What are you looking for?
Nah, that's it.
You sure?
Yeah.
Go back to the thing about Western Europe, about the about
Hold on, it might have been a counter NATO. I might have messed up, but
let's
hold on.
Get it right.
Let me make sure.
Yeah, it's right here, Al.
All right, come.
Right there. Read that again.
All right. The Soviet Union formed this alliance as a counterbalance to the North Atlantic Treaty Organization.
A counterbalance.
Yeah, the counter.
All right, to counter what? The NATO. You see that? Go ahead.
A collective security alliance concluded between the United States, Canada, and Western European nations. You had it right.
Go ahead.
The Warsaw Pact supplemented existing agreements.
It supplemented existing agreements during 1949 until now. Now, all right, what are we seeing according to prophecy? What are we seeing in the news as we speak?
Yeah.
The Ukraine and America / Russia conflict.
Yeah.
Okay.
But also, all right, so Russia had their thing. So we could say that NATO basically try to break up their Warsaw Pact agreement with them. NATO try to stop their alliance and bring its members from them to join them and surround their territory. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what they was doing.
That's what they were doing.
That's an act of war.
The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee, a counterbalance, and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him.
There's no understanding, so-called white man. You don't make a treaty and then go against it. You don't spy on your allies, man. You get what I'm saying?
That's right.
You don't do that. That's an act of that shows he doesn't have true wisdom. His wisdom on the left hand side. All right. That's why all the men of his confederacy, of his all the men that's an alliance with him, they're gonna turn on America, and America and NATO and Russia. Those are all Edomites, but they're not going to be in agreement. So
right,
their house is divided.
Boom. That's right, brother. Shall I not in that day, saith Yahweh Bashem Al Shai, even destroy the wise men out of Edom?
The wise men out of Edom, isn't that Teman?
That's right, brother.
That's the Germans.
That's right. In understanding out of the mount of Esau, and thy mighty men, O Teman, shall be dismayed.
Shall be dismayed. So, your whole army gonna be this man is going to be basically incinerated when the Lord returns.
To the end that every one of the mount of Esau may be cut off by slaughter.
By slaughter. So the Lord is going to basically destroy all your armies. The Lord is going to destroy all these armies that's in rulership.
That's right. Who is this? I mean, so like, who is this that coming from Edom with Dagon from Basra?
That's right.
Hamashiach Yahushai, man. Gonna slaughter you goddamn Edomites.
Yeah, all your soldiers gonna get destroyed, and then the rest of your people gonna go out in nuclear destruction. Right. That's over here in America.
I got one more. Ezekiel 25 and 13. 12. Thus saith Yahweh Bashem Al Shai, because that Edom have dealt against the house of Judah by taking vengeance, and have greatly offended and revenged himself upon them.
Yeah, they did that.
That's right.
Look at slavery. Look at slavery. What they was doing.
Yeah, bro.
Look what they did in slavery. Those acts. How they didn't let up on old, young. It didn't matter. On the women, it didn't matter. Look at the delectable Negro.
That's right.
The acts of cannibalism on a voyage over here.
That's right. The Willie Lynch letter.
Yeah, they threw slaves overboard into the water. With shackled, while they were shackled.
Yokes of iron on your neck.
Yokes of iron on your neck.
Family separated. Your boys sold for damn fucking prostitutes.
Prostitutes.
Girls, daughters sold for damn musket, guns, and wine.
Yeah.
Therefore, thus saith Yahweh, Bashem Al Shai, I will also stretch out my hand upon Edom.
The Lord going to stretch out his hand upon Edom. So the Lord going to give vengeance on Edom. How? The Lord going to have his men. He's going to put the anger in his men and the power to destroy you also.
That's right. And will cut off man and beast from it.
Man and beast from it. So Esau, America going to be destroyed. Israel going to be destroyed. Parts of Russia, parts of Australia. Those parts going to get rebuilt. Those lands going to be rebuilt. But America won't.
That's right.
And Esau gonna all those that's destroyed in nuclear destruction gonna be brought back through the banking families of Esau.
Right. And I will
and serve slavery and be destroyed.
Burn. It says, and I will make it desolate from Teman. There goes Teman again.
Teman is gonna be desolate. And so Teman gonna be desolate. Teman gonna get destroyed. The wise men gonna be destroyed. Germany. It will be rebuilt, but not like it is now. But
right.
Esau gonna be destroyed too.
That's right, man. What's one of those major
over here in America?
Come on, brother. One of those major fucking cities in Germany. Berlin.
Berlin, okay.
Right, Berlin. But there's also another one. There's also different. But nonetheless, I can't remember right now. But them Germans. Mm-hmm. They were considered the wise men of Edom, Esau, because the Most High gave them the blessing of Tubal Cain.
Okay.
Which is traveling weapon.
All right.
Like mercenaries and creating weapons.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He gave them a intellectual ability, all right, above average to fulfill prophecy.
Engineers, yeah.
That's right. It says, and they of the Dan, and I'd like to go into this through the spirit because I was doing the studying. The Dan is dealing with two particular nations, two different nations. All right, it's dealing with mixed sons that came out of Abraham, and is dealing with so-called Africans, which pretty much make up, you know, what the prophecy of the transatlantic slave trade. You go into the Dan in Genesis the 10th chapter and the 6th verse, right? 6 through 7. Then you go to Genesis 25, 1 through 3. You'll see that the Dan was a descendant of Cush, and he was a descendant out of Abraham's 8 sons. So it comprises. Yep, it comprises two nations when it says the Dan.
All right.
Hamites, all right, and a mix like so-called Arab people, if you will.
All right.
It says that's what pretty much that's how the prophecy came to pass according to transatlantic slave trade, man. Who was the main culprits? The so-called white man, right? And a lot of them call themselves so-called Jews over there in Germany, do they not?
Yeah.
Right? They call themselves Ashkenaz and all of this stuff, right? A lot of them devils, you come to find out, oh, they go back to Germany. That's where Hitler was doing his so-called dirt, correct?
Yeah.
In Germany, right? So it all makes sense. The slave trade that was funded by the damn so-called white man, all right, more than likely, you know, from the time from Amalek, you know what I'm saying? But he was still an Edomite unto the Arabs and the Africans, the different sons of these heathen nations that came against Israel and sold us into slavery.
Okay.
They of the Dan shall fall by the sword.
That's right. No, Ham gonna fall by the sword.
That's right, man.
All right, because you know Ham knows that we're not the same people.
That's right.
But he says it. He says it when the cameras are not on him. They say little things, but then they have Jake and the world believing we all the same people. So then there goes the excuse. Oh, you sold yourself into slavery, which is taught indirectly in high school.
That's right, which is total madness. What people would
my own history teacher says that shit to me. Yeah,
that shit is bugged out. Who would sell themselves into slavery under their goddamn enemies willingly? Who would do that? Seriously, that's logically inept.
It doesn't make sense.
It's the Most High. The Most High allowed these things to come to pass because of prophecy, man.
Yeah.
That's it. Right? Verse 14. And I will lay my vengeance upon Edom by the hand of my people Israel.
That's right.
That's right.
By the hand of my people. So it says, wait for me. So I rise up against the prey.
That's right.
So we gotta wait upon the Lord. The Lord gonna give us that power and his anger to devour, to basically rip in pieces these Edomites, man.
That's right. And they shall do in Edom according to mine anger and according to my fury. According
to the Lord's anger and fury. So it's not gonna be any mercy. Because Jakes, we have a sort of mercy in us.
Yeah,
and be
exactly.
Like, oh nah, that's too vicious. But it's just gonna have the Lord's anger. We're gonna have the Lord anger.
Because it's just like the Most High allowed the damn Edomites to do to our people. Yeah. That shit was merciless.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So think about that. The Lord allowed the Edomites to get, at us on the left hand side. We're talking about the right hand side now.
Yeah.
We talking. See, that's the Lord said my anger. On the right hand side, because the shit that happened to us is like, goddamn, like this has never happened to no people on the planet Earth.
Yeah.
The type of shit that happened to our people. So how much more on the right hand side when Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai gives that standard, gives that spiritual power, all right, and then translate it into the kingdom on those Edomites that survived being put into hardcore slavery, beginning with the elites, because it's prophesied that what I'm saying, they're going to be the first fruits of slavery. Just like the elect is going to be the first fruits of Yahushai and salvation. Well, Esau, the elites of them, are going to be the first fruits of slavery, first fruits of condemnation into hardcore bondage, man, and righteousness under Yahushai, man. Everything has a right and a left, man. Everything has a balance. So what happened to our people was vicious and heinous and atrocious and cruel, on the left-hand side by this damn Edomite's hatred towards us, how much more on the right-hand side when Yahweh allows us to get them back for what they done unto us, man?
Mm-hmm.
See? That's what the Lord means by my anger. And they shall do in Edom according to mine anger and according to my fury, and they shall know my vengeance, saith the Lord Yahweh. By Hashem Yahweh Shai. You getting it on there?
So yeah. So so the Lord is gonna give his men, the power to destroy Esau also. All right. And when we ripping them to pieces, it's not going to be according to our anger. It's going to be according to the Lord's anger. All right. So with that, all praises to Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem, Okar Kadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders and the Akim pushing this truth out in sincerity. Shalom.